Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so today we're going to transform the notoriously tricky Java setup process into basically building your very own digital workshop. If you've ever tried to start programming in Java and just felt completely overwhelmed by all the downloads, system configurations, and, let's be real, confusing acronyms, well, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to build your workbench from the ground up, perfectly tailored for a complete beginner. You're probably super eager to start programming and actually see your code come to life on the screen. But first, we need to install the essential tools that allow your computer to actually understand Java. Think of it kind of like wanting to build a beautiful piece of furniture. You've got the vision, right? But right now, you're standing in an empty room. Before we can cut the wood, we need to bring in the work table, the saws, the measuring tape, and that is exactly what this whole setup process is all about. All right, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start with the coding workspace and choosing your IDE. Then we'll download the Java JDK, set up the environment path, look at Windows versus Mac, and finally verify the installation. So, stepping right into step 1, the coding workspace. First up, we need a place to actually write our code. This is basically the physical workbench in our digital shop. Now, while you could technically write Java in basic Notepad, and yes, some absolute purists out there do enthusiastically defend their plain text files, using an IDE is what really gives you the power to compile and debug efficiently on real projects. An IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, is your all-in-one super tool. Instead of typing code in one program, going to another to check it, and a third to run it, an IDE lets you do absolutely everything in a single, perfectly organized window. It's basically the difference between doing math on a napkin versus using a high-powered graphing calculator. Moving on to step 2, let's talk about choosing your IDE. There are a ton of editors out there, but we're going to weigh our options and focus on two major players today, VS Code and IntelliJ IDEA. For this explainer, we're really focusing on VS Code because it's incredibly lightweight and honestly, perfect for complete beginners. Don't get me wrong, IntelliJ IDEA is absolutely fantastic, a true powerhouse. But its ultimate version is paid, and the free community version does have some limited features. VS Code, on the flip side, is completely free, incredibly fast, and lets you do everything you need without totally overwhelming your computer's resources. It's really the ideal, streamlined workbench to kickstart your journey. Okay, step 3, downloading the Java JDK, specifically getting the LTS version. With our workbench selected, let's go grab the actual engine that translates our code, the JDK. We'll be downloading the Oracle JDK. Without it, your computer just looks at your Java code like it's a completely foreign language. The JDK contains the compiler, which acts as a master translator, turning your human-readable, typed code into the binary instructions that your computer hardware can actually execute. Fun fact, Java was actually originally created way back in 1995 to program interactive television, but it was literally too advanced for the cable boxes at the time. Crazy, right? Now it runs on billions of devices. But when we go to download this from Oracle, we hit a really crucial decision about which version to pick. So the big point here is purposefully choosing what's called an LTS version, instead of just reflexively grabbing the absolute newest release. In the software world, LTS stands for long-term support. It just means the creators are promising to fix bugs and provide security updates for the specific version for years to come. This is exactly why we ignore the shiny newer versions like Java 19 or 20 and stick strictly to Java 17. You see, Java releases new updates every 6 months. If you jump on the newest non-LTS version, you'll be constantly forced to update and things might just unexpectedly break. Java 17 is an LTS version, which gives us a rock-solid, stable foundation that won't constantly shift under our feet. Plus, Java is backward compatible. That means the basic core language features you learn today will remain exactly the same whether you're on version 17 now or version 25 in the future. All right, brace yourselves for step 4, setting the environment path. This is notorious for being the boss battle for beginners. Setting the path is essentially the plumbing connecting your IDE to your JDK engine. If you're on Windows, you have to tell your operating system exactly where you installed that JDK compiler. Just follow these exact steps to make sure your machine knows precisely where to look. You'll search your Start menu for environment variables, find the path variable in the system settings, hit New, and then, and this is the absolutely crucial part, you paste the exact file directory path leading all the way into the Java bin folder inside your program files. You have to go all the way to bin. Now, preemptively checking for common pitfalls here is going to save you immense frustration. The #1 error beginners get is typing a command and seeing Java command not found.
If you see this, it almost always means one of two things. First, you might have copied the path to the main Java folder, but you forgot to go one level deeper and include that final bin folder at the end. That bin folder is where the actual compiler lives. Second, even if you did everything perfectly, if you had your command prompt open while you made those changes, it won't realize anything happened. You have to completely close and restart your terminal for the new path variables to kick in. It's a tiny step, but seriously, absolutely crucial.
Moving to step 5, let's briefly look at Windows versus Mac setup. While we focused heavily on the manual Windows configuration, let's contrast that with how a Mac handles it. While the underlying Java code you're going to write remains exactly the same across systems, the installation journey definitely differs. For Mac users, you simply download either the Apple chip or Intel chip package depending on your hardware, and you generally get to just skip the manual path plumbing. The Mac operating system handles linking the terminal to the JDK completely under the hood. So if you're on a Mac, you definitely have it just a little bit easier today. And finally, step 6, verifying the installation.
Let's test the plumbing and see how this builds into our completed, fully functional digital workshop. To prove everything's working, open up a completely fresh terminal. First, type java -- version. This checks if the runtime environment is active. You should see Java 17 pop up right on the screen. Next, type java c - version, making sure to add that C at the end. This specifically calls out to the compiler inside that bin folder we routed earlier. Once both of these commands return a version number without any errors, congratulations, your VS Code IDE and your Java JDK are perfectly linked up and ready to go.
So your environment is flawlessly configured. You've navigated the LTS versions, installed your IDE, and totally conquered those environment variables. Your digital workbench is fully stocked. Now that you have the exact same foundational tools used to build everything from Android apps to Mars rover software, the only question left is, what incredible program are you going to write first? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and happy coding!